So Tanner, what's the last 36 hours been like for you? Everything that's happened?
It's been eventful, to say the least. Definitely not something I expected preparing throughout the week, but it's been fun more than anything. I'm just happy we won. That's the thought that keeps coming back to my head is that we won. We won the game. We're 1-0. That's all. That's the most. That's the thing I care about most.
Between you and Madison, can you describe what Saturday was like for your parents?
Oh, I can't imagine. My parents were in Idaho watching his game, but they were watching my game on their iPhone. They didn't want to miss both games. And he's a senior. He's their star player. They didn't think I was going to get in. So I totally don't blame them. But in the post-game interview with Greg Rebell, he told me that, hey, your brother just had an amazing one-handed grab, and I was pumped. I was like, sweet, that's awesome. And it doesn't surprise me. He's a baller. But then I got back to Provo, called my mom, and she was excited. Just happy that we could both play well and we could both win our first games.
Coach said he wanted to see a little bit more nerves. Do you have nerves or skills? Talk about that.
I don't know why, but I love situations like that. They're fun. It's kind of always been that way. I kind of thrive in those situations, and obviously it doesn't mean I'm not a little bit nervous. I'm definitely a little bit anxious, but I just keep reminding myself just to stay calm. You know what you have to do. Enjoy it and just have fun more than anything.
Have you ever been part of a Hail Mary play like you were completing?
The last time I was part of a Hail Mary play was 5th grade in my Little League football league. It was the last play of the game. I can still remember it was bone right, 18 option pass, dropped back, threw it up, and my best friend caught it in the end zone for the win. And that was the last time I was a part of a Hail Mary, but definitely wasn't in front of 90,000 fans.
What was this play called for today?
84. It's just our Hail Mary call, nothing significant.
How would you describe the BYU-Boise rivalry as a Boise guy, or from that?
I think it's an awesome matchup. I don't necessarily know why, but there always is a little bit of a rivalry between us. And growing up a huge Boise State fan, I was always torn when Boise State and BYU would play because I'm a huge BYU fan, but also a huge Boise State fan. I remember the first time I watched, it was on TV, it was in Provo, and Boise State won the game. And I was torn. I didn't know if I was happy or not. But I think as time has gone on, I'm definitely pulling for BYU. but it's a good matchup. Two great programs, two good teams. So it's a fun matchup for sure.
Is it cool to think that that's your first career start against your hometown team?
It is pretty special. I have some friends on the team, some former teammates, and I know Coach Harsin, and it'll be fun to have them in town, have them in Provo, and obviously where I'm from, everyone's huge Boise State fans. So I know I'll have a lot of people rooting against me, but it's fine. It's college football, and I kind of have to remind myself that it doesn't matter who it is, exactly who we're playing. It's our opponent, and I have to respect them no matter who they are.
Did you consider them at all, or were you a BYU guy just no matter what?
Oh, I definitely did. I think when it came down to it, I narrowed it down to Boise State and BYU. Those were my top choices. And Coach Peterson was the coach when I was in high school, and loved Coach Peterson, loved the program, and so I definitely considered it. But in the end, chose BYU, and one of the best decisions I've ever made. I haven't regretted it.
What's the process been like trying to get game ready, even though you didn't know you were going to be playing a game, from ending your mission to this point now? It's been, I'm assuming, a lot in the 3 months.
Mm-hmm. So I came home knowing that I was only going to have a few months, right, to get ready for the season. And as a backup, you kind of have to prepare like you're going to be the guy, because if you don't, when the time comes, you're going to be surprised and you won't be ready. So all summer long, I've been preparing myself mentally. Every rep I get, I just trying to visualize it like it's in the game. So that way when the time comes, if I'm called upon, I can step in and do my job. I didn't know when the time was going to come. It happened to come in the second quarter against Nebraska. So when Coach and I told me, hey, you're in, I was like, all right, let's do it. Let's go play. I was ready. And I got to credit Taysom for that, for helping me out throughout the summer, and the coaches who helped me be prepared for that situation.
So you felt comfortable as far as playbook and all that stuff. You felt you had all that
Yeah.
down, and you felt comfortable.
Yeah, I
stepping in.
felt great about it, and I was excited. I mean, guys were even noticing that. Man, like you look happy. I'm like, yeah, I am. Let's go play. It's been a while since I've played, so it felt good to be back out there again.
Could you describe your chemistry with these receivers? You've had a short time with them. Nothing like what Taysom's had, but, the height of 6'5" guys and things like that. What do you like about how you work with them?
I love our receivers. I love them so much. Not only because they're great football players, but because they're great guys off the field. Some of my closest friends. And right when I got back, they rallied around me, welcomed me back, and made me feel welcome. And that only, it correlates, it translates over to the field as well. Because we know we can trust each other. We know we're there for one another. And yeah, while I might not have as many reps with them in practice, the ones I do get, I try to make the most of, and try to stay a little bit later after practice and get some extra throws in just to get that connection down. But those guys make it easy, honestly. It's nice having big targets, guys who have great hands, great routes. So that way, I can just go out and do my part, and they go make plays.
What's the best piece of advice, if you've gotten any, about how to move on from this awesome moment of Nebraska, now focusing in on the next game and that type of thing?
I don't know if I've gotten like a piece of set advice, but just internally, I know that as great as it is to come out with a win, you have to come right back around and start preparing for the next week. So yeah, we're happy we came out with a win, and it's awesome. We're happy about it, but now it's on to Boise State, and it was a great team. So we can't get too caught up in it. We can't focus too much on it, because in 5 days, 6 days, we're going to play another tough team. So now we're just staying focused, remembering that it's just one game, and now we got to do the best we can to prepare and train for a tough game on Saturday.
Did your phone explode as soon as that all went down?
Yeah, it did. Throughout the night, a few hundred text messages and a lot of notifications and stuff like that. But I didn't want to get into that. I didn't really touch it. The only people I talked to that night were really just my parents and my siblings. That's all that matters to me. Family's most important to me. So I've kind of just been setting it aside a little bit, not getting too caught up in it.
Logged off of Twitter that night and everything?
Yeah, I didn't want to get too caught up in it. Get a little crazy.
So how are your parents going to decide where to go on a given weekend now?
Oh, plans changed a little bit now. Preseason, they weren't thinking I was going to get too much playing time, which is totally understandable. But now they're gonna split up usually. One parent will go to my brother's game, one will come to my game. If time permits, they'll maybe try and go to both. I know that Pocatello and Provo is about 3 hours, so if there's time differences, they might try to go to his and come to mine in the night. But they'll do the best they can to support. But it's a fun time, and having my brother play as well, and he's awesome. I'm happy that he's doing well, because he deserves it.
How much pride do Idahoans and Boise people take in the fact that they've owned Utah teams in football and college football? To some, I can't remember the record, this is something like...
I'm not sure. But
Is it a point of pride for them?
no, being not really. It doesn't really matter which team it is. Each team is just happy to win, no matter who it's against. If it's against BYU or someone else, a team's happy to take the win.
Besides that last play, what do you remember about that final drive? Just all the things that led up to that final play.
Kind of like I said before, it was fun, and throughout the whole fourth quarter, looking around on the sideline, looking in the eyes of the guys, we believed that we knew when it came down to it, we were going to win the game. So when it came 48 seconds to go, You know, I'm walking out there like, this is sweet. Let's go do it. And march down just enough to give ourselves a chance. And when it came to that final play, my coach and I had told me to buy some time, throw it up, let our guys go make a play. And I felt confident about it. I knew I had 3 incredible receivers. And, you know, looking around, I felt good.
Okay.
So when it happened, and it was obviously a moment of pure joy and elation, but it was a moment of you know, that came from confidence, that came from belief, and knowing that we could do it if we just stuck together and kept fighting until the end.
Which said some of that confidence he believes comes from the missions, and you've said that.
Yeah, definitely. And the mission teaches you so much: hard work, persistence, and definitely confidence in knowing that you can do hard things. That you can, despite adversity, despite trials, if you just keep fighting and stay positive and stay upbeat and not let that get to you, then you can accomplish your goals.